Macros, Mindset, and Muscles.
I'm Coach James.
And I'm Coach Brittany.
We're here to give you the truth about health and fitness.
No gimmicks, no bullshit, just facts. What's up, Phoenix fam?
What up?
We are back with another awesome episode packed with information and James's bullshit.
She's upset because, I want to talk about Ninja Turtles.
We're not talking about Ninja Turtles.
I know. We're talking about some macros, mindset, and muscle stuff today.
Yeah, we had like a whole movie discussion last night, an argument, because I watched the whole freaking collection of Marvel Universe movies with him last year. And
2 years ago.
It was last year.
Year and a half.
Last year. And technically, not even a year because it was last summer.
Summer.
And he was mad because I put on a chick flick.
A chick flick. You think I'm upset over a chick flick? It wasn't even about that. It was the fact that they're like, hey, let's watch something different. And then you just...
Yeah, okay, let's just define different, okay? First of all, different for James means we're going to watch a movie that's fighting. Fighting and action, which action is fighting. So let's watch something different. And by different, I mean, let's watch another movie where people are fighting to save something. That's different for James.
I mean, I can only say...
Whether it's a fucking monkey fighting to save the world, a fucking superhero, or a fucking boxer, whatever the case is, like there's some kind of fighting going on. And like, there's going to be a happy ending because the superhero in the movie is going to win. That's different for James.
It's a feel-good movie.
No, it's not a feel-good movie.
It is. It's about working as a team and good versus evil and, you know, just a good guy.
You don't know what it means to work as a team.
There is no I in team. Oh, my gosh. We can only watch so many Christmas movies from Lifetime.
We haven't even been watching Christmas movies since Christmas.
Watched enough. Forever.
Well, it's still going to carry
Anyway,
on.
All right. So
but that's the whole argument because...
You were just skipping every good movie.
Because every good movie was a fighting movie for you.
No, what she would do is she would just skip over it so fast, hoping that I wouldn't see it.
You can't read that fast.
It's the pictures that got me, though. I know the pictures. All right.
So that's our marital spat. That's the kind of stuff that we quote unquote fight over.
Yeah. It was pretty touch and go there for a while.
even Trin was up in her room just laughing at us because of our argument.
This went on for like 45 minutes.
Legit. 45 minutes.
All right. Well, I know everybody wants to learn something or talk about something else.
Yeah, but before we get into that,
what else did I do?
You didn't do anything. I just wanted to talk about some things that we're working on, like awesome emails and tips coming to your inbox.
Yeah.
We have a list, an email list that we haven't utilized to our best ability. I have sent recipes and stuff like that out, but I want to get more regular with it. And that's something that I'm working really hard on the back end. We are hopefully going to be releasing another tier to our coaching offerings.
Yeah, we want to connect with more people.
Yeah. We're not going to get into too much detail right with that yet because it's a work in progress, but when we know more, you will know more. We also are fundraising for St. Jude this year. I decided to knock something off my bucket list and I am running a full marathon.
The full marathon, which means James is going to be running a half marathon chasing you around.
So in December, I'll be running the full marathon for St. Jude. I fundraise for St. Jude as a hero every year. So this year I decided to go all in for it. And we're, committed to raising a pretty substantial amount for St. Jude. Phoenix Transformations will be making donations to St. Jude. So if you sign up for coaching, if you sign up for one-on-one coaching, $250 of each package will be contributed to St. Jude.
That's awesome.
Directly from Phoenix Transformations. And that is if you sign up to work with Coach James or I. We're working on some fun things that will be coming soon that will also contribute to fundraising efforts. So keep your ears and eyes open.
Yeah, this past year was awesome. We had some people that took part in it virtually, me, and it was fun. If you don't have to actually be at the physical race to still take part and participate, and it's awesome.
But if you can be at the physical race, I will say that the St. Jude race weekend in Memphis in December is really, really a great experience.
Oh, there's nothing like this was my first time ever being down there,
Yeah.
and it was insane. Like
It's
I can get like the hype.
it's a really good event, and it's for such a good cause. Like you're helping kids with cancer.
Yeah.
St. Jude does not they don't bill families that have their kids in the hospitals.
Treatment.
They take care of them. They put them up. They give them a place to stay. They feed them. Like they do all this stuff. So it really is a good cause. If you can participate in the event, in person, great. If not, virtual is still an awesome option, and you can join our Team Phoenix Transformations. When you go to register, you would just click join a team versus run as an individual. And then you'll be part of Team Phoenix, and we'll have some fun things to help you train along the way if you do join the team.
Yeah.
So
hit us up if you need any more details about all that.
Yeah. We would like to bring as many people on as possible to help the cause. You do not have to commit to a fundraising level, but you do get more perks if you commit to fundraising. They have several different levels of fundraising.
Yeah.
But anyways, if you want more information, you can just send us a message. Send me a message on Facebook, in the Facebook group. There's a Facebook chat. There's a chat titled St. Jude Heroes in our women's Facebook group. So you can always ask questions there, and we're looking forward to continuing to grow the team and, make a good contribution towards fundraising efforts this year.
Nice.
So with that being said, all the shameless plugs and all that fun stuff, our little marital spat, welcome to episode 35.
35, looks alive.
And today we are going to talk about expectations versus reality. Your expectations are holding you back. Honestly, your expectations are setting you up for failure.
Ooh.
And we're going to hop right into this. I always say that. That's let's hop right into this. Let's jump right into this topic. So, your expectations are holding you back. They're setting you up for failure. And how are they doing that, you ask? Well,
yeah, how are they doing that?
A lot of people will see pictures, transformation pictures, progress pictures. They'll see their favorite influencer or their favorite actress, celebrity, something like that. They'll see a picture and they'll be like, I want to look like that. And then they start setting up all these expectations of how this process is going to go. The first thing that people expect and wind up being disappointed with is the expectation that progress will be fast.
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing it right, progress won't be fast.
It's not saying you won't make some progress. It's just from the pictures that you're seeing, the transformation pictures, the before and the after. That's not a fast process.
No, it's a process that takes, years, honestly. A lot of people see the pictures, like we're talking about progress pictures, celebrities, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, I want to look like that. I need to drop
X amount.
I need to drop 30 pounds.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do that in 3 months. 3 months, and I'll have a good transformation. Or if I can just get to my goal weight of XXX, then I'll be happy. I'll look like I'm supposed to look. And that's not the case at all. First of all, your weight doesn't determine how you look. You can hit your goal weight and be fatter than you were when you started. And I say this lightly, I hate using the word fatter, but when I say this, I mean,
that's a legit.
You can have more body fat
percentage-wise
versus lean mass. And that's if you go about doing this the wrong way. If you're so focused on the scale that that's all you care about, you're going to mess up your body composition. You're going to make it worse.
Yeah.
Because you just care about dropping that number. You don't care about long-term health or longevity. You don't care about keeping muscle. So your bones and joints, your body stays strong.
Yeah.
Muscle helps your metabolism stay up. Your sole focus is getting that number to go down. And that kind of leads into the next expectation is that like if the scale goes up, you're not making progress.
Yeah.
Um scale the scale weight, like that's just the relation between your body, like the gravitational pull to the earth. That's what it is. That's what this
Mm-hmm.
tells you. So the number on the scale, it doesn't define your progress. Obviously, like if you're obese, if you're overweight, you need to lose some weight for health reasons, but that shouldn't be your sole focus. If you focus on changing your habits and making these sustainable changes, the weight will follow, but it shouldn't be your prime focus.
Yeah.
When you're so focused on the scale, like you kind of miss out on all the other things, and the scale fluctuates. It's going to fluctuate, especially for women. Like, I'm not saying men don't have hormone, like they don't have weight fluctuations, but their hormones don't change the way that women's do. Like ours are up and down and here and there and all over the place. And that causes fluctuations in weight. What else causes weight fluctuations, Coach James?
Poop.
Poop.
Poop does. So if you haven't been having regular bowel movements, if you're just retaining extra water, things like that, like a meal that you had may have had a lot of sodium in it or a lot of carbs in it.
Or your body just might not have agreed with that meal, and that could be causing inflammation.
Yeah.
If you get really bloated, like painfully bloated after you eat a meal, your body is reacting to something that you ate.
Not even just food. If you've trained hard, especially like a large muscle group like legs, the following day
you're
going to have some inflammation, which is your weight is going to be up.
Yeah.
You know, like you're like, oh well, I worked out yesterday. I should be thinner.
Nah.
It's not how this works.
Yeah, I worked out so hard yesterday, but the scale went up. Well, it's
because your body is doing
a good thing. You probably did work out really hard and you got a good workout in.
And now your body is sending all the nutrients and everything it needs to those muscles for them to recover and to do it all over again and come back stronger.
Yeah. We learned in prep that my weight, because like when I'm in prep, my food choices they're pretty much the same day in, day out.
Yeah.
And we learned that whenever I would do legs, the next day it'd be about 2 pounds heavier.
Yeah. My body, when it's overly stressed, and I learned this same time that, we learned that with you, is I got to the point where all of a sudden, and I was doing a lot of working out, a lot of cardio, very little food, and I was retaining water. And my body was just so stressed from all the activity all the time that once I stopped and did rest, I had a very large drop in fluid just overnight. It was just so overly stressed that I was holding on to extra pounds of water.
Yeah. Lack of sleep, that can cause you to have scale fluctuations. Your water intake, your food intake, the time that you ate, how much you had the day before. Like maybe you had more carbs. Like if you're not tracking macros and you're hitting those consistently and you're having days where you're high and you're low on your carbs, like carbs make you hold more water. That's not a bad thing. Water is considered lean mass in your body. So when you eat more carbs, like you're holding more water. But again, that shouldn't scare you and make you think that carbs are bad because they're not.
No.
Your body needs water.
Yeah. It's carbohydrate. That's what it is. It's in the name.
It's in the name. Hydrate.
Hydrate. Carbohydrate.
So, if you eat later in the day, like if we ate later, like we ate late last night and we had more fluid, that's going to impact how we weigh the next day.
There's a lot of factors that can weight fluctuation just happens.
Yeah.
You can control what you can control, but then, there's some things that your body just reacts to and that are out of your control, and it's going to fluctuate.
Yeah, 100%. So the scale, it isn't everything, and you can't put all your focus into the scale. You got to learn to take it with a grain of salt and use it as a data point. Put it on a graph, on a chart, and on that chart, like think about like in high school or school, whatever, like when you put points on a graph, some points are higher, some points are lower. As long as those higher points are getting lower and the lower points are getting lower and fat loss is your goal, then you're going in the right direction. If you're trying to gain, then you want those points to gradually get higher. Now, this is a trend. Like, you're going to have peaks and valleys. So you might start out, your first dot, your first point on the graph, is at one level, and then you drop down, and then you might go up higher than your first one before you drop down again. That's normal as long as it continues to get lower.
Right. That's why we go on an average.
Yeah, look at your weekly average. If you're weighing daily and it's causing you emotional distress, like, you stop.
Yeah.
If weighing causes you emotional distress, don't do it as often. Period. And work with a therapist.
Yeah. But if it does not bother you and you are curious to see how your body reacts and to accept it, and to know it, so it doesn't, sit in the back of your head and you're like, oh, well, I'm a little bit heavier today. That means I'm not progressing. But you want to just, observe it like science, then you can track it every day.
When it comes down to it, like, the scale, it's just a data point. And the data points can be useful if you will allow that information to be used. Like, you can tell a lot about your body and your weight trends, when you're stressed, when like how your body reacts to certain foods and different things going on in your life. So you just have to be able to take that, like, as what it is information.
It's just information.
So, that's a big expectation, is people expect the scale to go down every day, and it's not going to. It's absolutely not going to. You might hit a low and then go back up several pounds.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind in this journey, and don't set yourself up for failure by having this, like, expectation that the scale is just gonna,
And I think a lot of people have that expectation of X amount of weight equals this look.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, in their mind, like, they'll be like, my goal weight is this. And in their mind, whether they realize it or not, like, why is this your goal weight? Because you feel like if you get to that certain weight, like, you're gonna look and feel a certain way.
And I've been guilty of it. I was guilty of this in the early days too. And just because I'm a similar height as a certain celebrity, Captain America, Chris Evans. And I was like, all right, so when he did this movie and he played this role, he weighed X amount. And so if I get my weight up to X amount, then I'm going to look like this. And that was the goal early on. I was like, all right, I'm Captain America training. That's what I'm doing. And I got to that weight and I did not look like that. And it was disappointing. I had to learn the hard way.
Well, I think, most people can relate to that. I know for me too, like, when I started my journey, like, I did a lot of things that our clients do, I jumped to eating 1,200 calories a day, and I thought I had to do a whole bunch of cardio, and I didn't want to lift weights because I was afraid it would make me bulky. And I did focus on the quality of my food, and I was very good with getting my protein in and things like that. But, after I hit my quote unquote goal weight, I was like, this sucks. Like,
Yeah.
I don't look any better than I did, when I was 206 pounds. Like, when I was 55, 60 pounds heavier, like, I don't feel confident like I felt like I would.
Yeah.
And a lot of that had to do with the fact that I wasn't strength training and lifting weights, because, the leanness and the quote unquote tone that you get when you're working out, or that you see, like, your favorite celebrities and stuff have, that comes from lifting weights. That comes from having a low level of body fat. And here's the thing, if you're so focused on losing weight and not so much body fat, like, you're losing that muscle mass, you're losing what gives you that look. And if you eventually, like, if you lose enough body fat, like, your muscle will show. But if you're also losing muscle in the process, it's going to take a lot longer.
If you're not lifting, your body has no reason to preserve it. I mean, it's just going to attack it and start using it as fuel, and you're going to be losing muscle, like you said. Like, it's not a good look.
Well, and that happens anyways too. Like, that's what people don't understand. Like, when you're when you're eating in a calorie deficit, like, there is a level of, like, muscle loss, but you can, preserve as much as possible by eating enough protein and lifting.
Right. There's ways to mitigate it.
Yeah.
So.
Um, Other expectations. People think that muscle gain is like a really fast process.
Oh,
We've kind of
this is a
touched
good
on
one.
we kind of touched on this before
Oh
too
my
in an
gosh.
episode, but a lot of people think that, muscle building, like, oh, I gained 3 pounds of muscle this month. Like I hear a lot of people say that, because they're relying on these like the bioelectrical
Little
impedance.
body fat
Yeah,
measure.
little body fat machines and what their scale tells them. They're looking at these numbers that these, devices spit out, and they're like, oh, I gained 3 pounds of muscle mass. No, you didn't. Like,
Those things are
you
not
didn't.
accurate, and so many things even throw their inaccuracy off even more.
Yeah. I mean, if you're weighing at different times and all the variables aren't exactly the same,
And you
you,
drink
you
water.
drank water, any fluids, maybe you didn't pee before you weighed, like whatever. Like all these things impact how the data reads. So it's not accurate. And you just don't gain that much muscle mass a month. You just don't. Like
Yeah,
in the beginning stages, you get the newbie gains and stuff, but it's really hard to say how much
it's true.
is how much is really being gained muscle wise,
And all that's going to be independent on each person too, because like everybody's different, everybody's diet's different. They're how intense they trained, how much they rested, like all that. There's so many factors when it comes to all that. I know. So when I first got on Instagram, I what I was seeing was people posting their like 60-day transformation or whatever. Like started in the 60 day or 30 days or 6 months or a year, and that was so intriguing to me. And I wasn't so captivated by the results, although that's awesome, that's cool. I had never stuck with anything like that long term, and so I was like, I wonder what would happen if I did this for 30 days. Well, let's do the pictures, and I did it, and I was like, well, let's do about 60 days. I wasn't like fixated on the exact like result, but I was like, what would it look like? I don't know. Then that turned into 90 days, and then 6 months. And what if I did this for a year? What can I do in a year? When you see people's transformation photos, like that's the most impressive thing to me is that someone is stuck with it. They stayed on the journey. Now everybody's journey is different, their progress is different, goals are different, but they just stuck with it, and I admire that. I love that.
And, talking about these pictures and stuff, like when you see a picture, like a transformation is a transformation, right? It's not just physical, it's mental, spiritual, it has to do with your daily habits, the way you live your life, the choices you make. Like it is a transformation, it's an overhaul
Yeah,
of things. So when you see these pictures, right, is it like, are you seeing a transformation or are you seeing a progress picture? Because a
yeah,
true transformation picture is going to be like the before was at one point and then the after is several years,
yeah,
because that's like a true transformation. If you see somebody that was, really overweight, myself, when I share my pictures, like I was really overweight. And then if I share like a progress, a transformation, like one of my transformation pictures, like when I was on stage or whatever, like those pictures are so far apart, we're talking years, like 5 years.
yeah,
And those things don't just happen in a matter of a few months or even like in a year for most people. It takes time and you have to improve your body composition and you have to work hard and lift weights. And, I've done that for years and I'm still like making changes and working on that. And the expectation, like when I started, I would see people's pictures and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I want to do that.
yeah.
Like I want to do that. I'm going to do that. And it would suck because like month to month, I'd be looking at my picture and like, well, I feel like I should be making more progress than this. But
We are our own worst critic.
we are. And I'm just saying that, like, you know, the pictures don't always set up the best reality for people, because when they see the pictures, it's like an instant thing. Like the transformation happens right in front of their eyes, because it's like, oh, she was like this and now she's like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and you gotta look like people are at their starting. That's years or whatever their life leading up to that point, and they're about to make the change, or they just starting. Then the transformation photo. Not all of them, most of them, some of them. Now you've got this person who's been working at this for a very long time, and everything they've eaten, and the exercises, and the way they slept, and the amount of water they did, everything was calculated for this picture at that time. And then they've got great lighting. They may even have a spray tan. Um, like that look was only obtained for a short amount of period of time. Now there are people that's just literally like a progress photo from the beginning to now. But some people's, like even mine, my photo is, I'm in the gym, and I got a little pump going and stuff like that. And then there's some good light too. Like it's not, sometimes pictures can be a little misleading.
And they are, because there's so many like editing tools and stuff now, that make it easy to manipulate photos. And to kind of further play on the point that you're talking about, a lot of people will get lean and then they will continue to use the same pictures,
Yeah.
as what they post. So like the person that you're looking up to might not even look like that all the time. They probably don't look like that all the time.
Right. Because what they did, but the steps they had to take to look the way they did in that picture, sometimes are not sustainable. I don't want to say all the time, because everybody's different, but for someone to get, to that kind of conditioning, it's not for a long-term effect. Like, they get back to real life a little bit, and they may not look like that now, like you said.
Yeah. And talking like, okay, I think a lot of people struggle with the reality of how you're going to feel when you're going through this process. And, if you're in a true calorie deficit and you are losing weight, you're losing body fat slowly over time, you can be hungry. And I think like a lot of people
Think that they're not.
they're not supposed to feel that way. But if you're in a calorie deficit, you're gonna feel some hunger. And that's kind of like that's your body's way of like fighting the calorie deficit, right? Because your body needs like a certain amount of calories to survive. And using your hunger cues, like your body's like, hey, we need to eat.
Yeah.
And then, it does kind of become a point of like willpower at that point. Like, you reminding yourself, like, hey, I'm hungry, but I'm okay. Like I'm not starving. I'm not gonna die if I don't eat.
Right. You gotta look at remember the bigger picture, because your body is built to do that. Like it's built for you to seek out food for it to have in case of, you may not see more food down the road, but you don't get to a place of needing to lose weight um without an excessive amount of food. So like it's kind of gone rampant, but your body's still like programmed to be like, all right, eat when you can. Eat. We need to eat. We need to eat. But someone has eaten and eaten and eaten, and it's stored and stored and stored.
Well, and I think a lot of that comes from too. You'll hear people say, "Well, I don't eat that much. I don't eat that much," right? By volume, they probably don't
Yeah.
eat that much. But if they're getting a Starbucks coffee in the morning and they're eating out at lunch, there's your calories. There's 2,000 calories easy right there.
Easy.
Um, so
Versus the clean food is plates and plates of food.
I don't like saying clean food.
Okay, here we go.
Nutrient dense food.
Whole food, lean protein.
Yes. But volume friendly foods. So, when people, I don't eat that much. You probably don't eat that much. But if you made some choices, some better choices, you probably wouldn't be as hungry as you are. Your cravings would be better managed. You would have regular bowel movements. Your gut health would be better. Your energy levels would be better.
Less calorie dense foods.
Yeah.
Is that a better way of saying it?
Yeah. Nutrient dense foods.
I'm not very good at this.
Fruits, veggies, wholesome carb sources, sweet potatoes, brown rice, quinoa, even white rice and russet potatoes, white potatoes. Like those things are okay.
I mean,
You know,
it's not people's fault that like these foods. I mean, your body is naturally you're hardwired to want fats and things like that for survival. So
well,
you're not because in the wild you wouldn't have them as often. Like
the
they're scarce,
combination, it's not even that it's like scarce. It's like you have these foods that are highly palatable.
right?
So you have foods that are salty, they're sweet, or they have high amounts of fat. And the combination of those things makes your body crave them more.
Right.
And this is like they're scientifically engineered. Like the people that make these food items, these snacks, like they make them this way on purpose so that you keep buying them.
Yeah, they are manipulating you.
And it's okay. Like you can have these things. We're not saying don't have these things by any means. But when you make the choice to lose fat, it's more than just like eating less calories. Like obviously you have to eat less calories to lose body fat, to lose weight, but you also have to take care of yourself in the process too.
Yeah.
And the longer you diet, the lower your calories have to get. And if you're choosing foods that are highly palatable and, you're giving up 400 calories for a bag of chips or whatever, like, obviously you're going to be hungry still. And that's why most people fail at losing weight and keeping it off because what they do isn't sustainable.
Right. And it's part of this whole journey is a lot of people are unaware and aren't conscious of these things. Like they just think of food and they eat when they're hungry. They don't know that it's calorie dense. They just see, oh, chicken and vegetables or this, and like of course, like I get this looks more appealing. This is more satisfying in the moment, but you don't realize what's going on, like the repercussions of that, like how that process worked and what all entails in that.
Yeah. And, on the same breath, like a lot of people will, aside from the like, well, I don't eat that much, you also have the people that are like, well, I eat really healthy, but I still gain weight. Well, eating healthy doesn't exclude you from being able to gain weight.
Yeah, I do that.
Weight gain and weight loss, it comes to calories in, calories out. Now, how your body burns those calories and uses those calories, there's a whole bunch of factors that play into that, like your hormones and sleep, medical conditions, like all these things impact your metabolic rate. So if you're eating healthy and you're gaining weight, it's because you're eating too many calories.
Yeah.
It's not, like just because you make, more nutrient dense choices, it doesn't mean that you're exempt from weight gain.
Yeah.
It still comes down to calories in, calories out.
Even if you, and it applies to everything. So the like fad diets and all those things, elimination diets, where they exclude like a certain food group, or if you go all vegan or all vegetarian, you can still gain weight on every single one of them if the calories are high.
Yeah.
Or higher than what your body needs.
Yeah. If you're in a surplus.
If you are in a surplus and you eat all vegetables, you're going to gain weight.
Which that would be really hard to be in a surplus eating only vegetables.
Can you imagine how gassy you would be?
Gosh, could you imagine how bloated you'd be from like so many vegetables? Because the sheer amount of volume to get in.
I can't imagine trying to get over 200 grams of veggie protein. Oh gosh. But hey, if that's your thing, that's your thing. Not my thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we have clients that, are vegetarians, vegan, and, there are ways to do things, but if you eat in a calorie surplus, you will gain weight. If you're in a calorie deficit, you will lose weight.
Yeah. And, this is why calculators kind of suck because people will be like, oh, I'm in a calorie deficit, but I'm not losing weight. Well, if you're not losing weight, you're not in a calorie deficit.
Period.
That's the reality.
Period.
And that's where having a coach can be helpful because, they can help you identify these things and they'll see the trends in the week to week progress, whereas you might just be focused on what the day to day is saying. And,
Yeah.
you know,
And we did a podcast about this of like um, things that you may be doing that you don't know that you're doing. And you may think that you're in a calorie deficit, but these things that you're not accounting for are actually putting you into a surplus.
yeah. So
Check that one out.
to kind of like summarize again, talking about expectations, expectation. I will lose weight every time I step on the scale. Reality. No, you won't.
Yeah.
Expectation is
I'll put on 10 pounds of muscle this month or year.
reality. It'll probably take you 5 to 10 years to put on 10 pounds of muscle.
Yeah. And then it's humbling. It's humbling.
So expectation, if I eat healthy foods, I'll lose weight. Reality. If you're not in a calorie deficit, you won't lose weight. Expectation, like I don't eat that much. If I just eat less, I'll lose weight. Well, if you're eating less by volume, that doesn't always equate to be true because your one meal that you eat could end up being more calories than your deficit level allows.
Yeah. Which is like with certain diets like the OMAD, like even if you only ate one meal a day, if it's high enough in calories, like you're still gonna gain weight.
Yeah. What other expectations?
Expectations. That your wife is gonna put on an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, but she puts on a rom-com.
Okay. Anyways, more expectations. If I work out every day, I'll make progress.
Oh yeah, that more is better.
Yeah, more is better.
More is just more.
Yeah, more is more, and more is not always better. More, sometimes less is more. If you work out more, your body has less time to recover. You're more likely to get injured. There's a whole bunch of problems that could come in from working out more.
Yeah, having someone just work out 3 days a week versus 5 days a week. Like, I'm a big fan of 3 days a week. I'm a big fan of that.
I am too. For most people, it's very doable and realistic, and it's something that they can incorporate into their routine. And the clients that we typically have do 3 days a week, they see great progress because they stick with it.
Yeah.
Like
and
long term.
Across the board, like whether not just like with weight loss, but with strength gain and everything. Like when they come back, they did their 3 the next week, they're fresh, they feel good, they feel strong again. They're not
beat down.
They're not beat down, and they're able to push it and just continue with the progress.
Yeah,
I love that.
That's such a good one. And it also comes in like another expectation. So I'm going to go on from that one. Is I have to do a bunch of cardio to see progress.
Okay.
The reality is that cardio is just a tool. And, you should use cardio as sparingly as possible. Like cardio should absolutely be a part of your program because it's good for heart health. But it shouldn't be the crutch that you lean on to see progress. Because here's the thing. When you do more cardio, you burn calories while you're doing it, but you don't burn it like at a higher level after you're done. And the more cardio you do, the better you get at doing cardio, the more efficient your body gets at doing cardio. So you burn less calories when you do more cardio because over time, your body adapts to that. So again, more is not better. Like if you can, balance your workouts with your cardio and just increasing your daily movement, that is the better choice.
Yep.
Because, if you keep if you do more cardio and your body like adapts to that and then you stop doing more cardio, guess what's going to happen?
Weight gain.
Exactly. So
you're going to have to cut food just to stop doing cardio.
Yeah. So you want to use it sparingly. You want to use it as a tool. And you want there to be balance. You don't want to be too reliant on it because there's going to be a time when you can't do that much cardio or when you're finally burnt out and tired of it, which is going to happen.
That's going to happen.
So, work on increasing your daily steps, things like that. But reality, you don't have to do a bunch of cardio to see progress. Period.
That was a little too close.
What else? What are we missing?
I don't know. Reality expectations.
We talked about food. We talked about the scale. We talked about
more is not better.
Yep. Weight fluctuations, muscle gains. I think we covered like everything.
Yeah. That's about it. I mean, some people, the expectation is if I do this person lost all this weight.
Ooh, that's a good one. If I
eat what they ate and do their workouts,
I'll look like them.
Boom.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
The reality is, no, you fucking won't. Because you are you and they are them. Like your body is different from them. Even if you were exactly the same height, the same weight, the same age,
same sex,
you still would not have the same results because you're not the same person.
Physiology is different.
Yep, physiology is different. What's going on in your body is different. Medical history,
stress levels,
family history, stress, life, etc. All those things make such a big difference. So doing what your friend did or
don't work.
Doing what your favorite celebrity did doesn't work.
Yeah.
And half the time they're just spreading more bullshit anyways.
Oh yeah. A lot of times what they've done is they've achieved this look now, and what they're selling you, they didn't use to achieve that look. They're able to sell this thing because they now look this way.
Yeah. I like all them booty programs on Instagram. I love it. I'll be like scrolling and they'll be like, you want to get this booty? Like do these banded body weight workouts. It's super cringe to me because when you see these things, like, that they didn't get that muscle definition in their legs or their booty by doing banded workouts. Like they did it by lifting heavy. They did it by eating enough calories to grow. And a lot of them did it because they got a BBL.
Ooh, mic drop.
And I'm not saying that's the case with everyone, but I hate just the misrepresentation. Like, do this and you can, if you do this right here, this very basic shit, it just doesn't work like that. Like, you'll get this result. If you want to target your love handles, like, do this exercise. The expectation is I can do these exercises and I can target fat loss in these areas. Yeah. Online, that's not.
These online coaches are the worst about it. For that reason, you look at them and they have this physique and they look like they know what they're talking about. And then they're telling you to do these things. Well, those aren't the things they did to achieve this look. Yeah. But what they've done now is use their looks to make you believe that they have some secret that nobody else does, that they have, and they're just trying to reinvent the wheel and trying to stand out. And a lot of times it's just a lot of useless, dangerous sometimes movements and things.
We see a lot of that, like with influencers. There's a lot of good coaches in this space. Like, honestly, there are a lot of good coaches. There's a lot of bad ones too.
There's a lot of bad ones.
But it's so hard because the bad ones, like the ones that are out there spreading like misinformation, outnumber the ones out there spreading the good information. And the ones spreading the misinformation are the ones that are like blowing up and getting millions of followers. And they're the ones that are causing more harm and causing, more issues and further like making the issue, like the struggle that we have like with our clients, and extreme diets and workout programs and, well, I did this 90-day program and I saw really good results, but I stopped and I gained it all back. Well, it didn't work then, because that's the whole point of this is a lifestyle change. Like, you should be able to sustain the results that you get.
Yeah.
And because there are so few people actually trying to do this,
it sucks because like trying to share things and do things like even on TikTok, there are so many people out there giving out bad information that it drowns out the good, because anybody can get on social media or TikTok or whatever and claim to be an expert in this or the guru of this. Guru, that's a big flag all the time. Whenever somebody says they're the guru of something, but you know.
Well, they don't even have to claim that. All it starts with is somebody goes viral, right? And then like a few women comment like, "Oh my gosh, I love your legs," or "I love your physique." Like, drop your workout program. Like, that's how it starts. Because I see this shit all the time, like in comments, and they're like, "Drop your workout program." And then you have, this person who has no business trying to share anything about nutrition and fitness. Now they're spreading this information and it's not accurate.
Right. Because chances are they had a coach and now they're just trying to regurgitate something that they've heard, but change it a little bit. Now, and apply it to somebody else. Or like I see them on TikTok. There's somebody that's been working out 4 months. Now they're coaching people.
Yeah.
Like, I can help you do this. Or hey, another guy getting on there promising women that he can get them to lose a pound a day, and guys can gain 10 pounds of muscle every 2 weeks or something like that. Just the most crazy thing that's completely false, but it's appealing because the people are like, oh my God.
I want to do that. I want to lose a pound a day.
And he's got this magical diet that he has and nobody has that'll do this. And it's like, it drives me crazy. It drives me crazy. And I end up just looking and seeing these people's posts, not because I'm a fan, it's because like I'm trying to prepare myself for when somebody comes to me and they're like, oh my gosh, I did this. It didn't work. And now I got these issues, or I'm in this situation now. Can you help? Like now I kind of have an idea of what they've gone through. And so I can, help them get things right. But,
Yeah.
Social media sucks.
It does. It's a problem.
It's a problem.
It is a problem. Yeah, that's all I got today.
Yeah.
I mean, we could ramble on and on and on about this stuff, but this episode is already getting pretty long. So,
we need friends.
Yeah.
We need people to talk to. No, I'm just kidding.
So basically, to sum it all up, make sure that your expectations are in line with reality.
Yeah.
And
a good coach will remind you that.
Yeah. Like if you have unrealistic expectations, you're going to be disappointed from the time you start this journey. You're never going to see the success that you want because your expectations are unrealistic.
Set small goals.
Yep. Small goals, attainable goals, be realistic, work on changing your mindset and actually go off of the research, not what this celebrity told you or this influencer. Like you gotta go with the research.
Yeah. And setting these small goals and getting those small wins add up to the big things down the road, if you stay with this journey.
So we hope this episode helps you, and we apologize for the rambling and the tangents on this topic to that topic and here to there and everywhere.
Flip flop.
We tend to do that.
It's our podcast, though.
Yeah, it is what it is.
We like y'all.
All right. Well, yep. That's it. Till next time.
That's Brittany.
And that's James.
Thanks for listening to Macros, Mindset, and Muscles. Until next time.
I'm James.
I'm Brittany. We're out.